Hello, hello. We are back.
Hi, you have to put up with us again.
Congratulations. Please do not resist.
You're being
Hello, you
rescued. Do
poor
not resist.
people. You have to deal with me again.
If it makes everybody feel better, there's a universe where you've already been through this. Take solace in that fact.
And there's also a universe where you never saw this.
Alrighty. So, today, we are missing Zeronin. We might get people partway through, but we'll see. But for now,
Pardon me.
we shall, since we already had introductions last time, I don't think we need to do them again. So that means
Unless you folks want us to, in which case that is entirely up to you. But regardless,
Yeah, in which
I
case,
will
say something.
step away. Nobody said anything last week.
But yes, we are doing some sweet world building again.
World building.
World building! And this time I get to,
More.
share my thing as well. Because last time I left it completely up to you
Your
guys.
little bit of this whole-
The lore. The lore. The lore.
Lore!
Lore time.
You betray the Lord!
Lore.
Lord.
I believe I already made
Lord.
You did. You did.
I am the Lord. I'm kidding.
That is a terrible goddamn movie. But hilarious. Terribleness.
Very tea.
It is so bad it's good. Laugh at it.
Point and laugh. Point and laugh.
Simple as.
Alrighty. So, do we want to do it again where you guys take the floor first, or do you want me to take the floor first?
Nope, start with yours because you didn't get to say it and it's the main lore of the setting.
Okay. Roger.
All we have is supplementary stuff. You have the main thing.
I have the main attraction, as it were.
Indeed.
Correct.
Man
Gotta
attraction
make
with
the
all the
Lord heaven look like a
satisfaction.
joke.
Alright, so I'm going to voice the whole little blurb that I gave in the Discord server, just so then people on stream actually know what's going on. Zagritha is a galaxy that mixes fantasy with sci-fi. Magic combines with technology seamlessly, and can be used separately or together depending on the civilization. Said civilizations range across many different planets with different governments that can vary from aggressive xenophobes to peaceful democracies. They rise and fall, however, there are two constant factions since time immemorial. They are called the Obsidians and the Blazes. Both have their own government and leaders, their own military, their own home, their own powers, and their own allies and enemies. And now this is something, there have been several what the groups call cycles. Cycles are relatively simple. The Obsidians and the Blazes have fought, and each faction killed all the members of the other side, except for Mystic and Devil, who are the two leaders of the respective sides, basically. From there, the records get degraded and unclear, but always one of them dies and the other walks away to rebuild. That was the premise that I gave.
Interesting. Well, consider me interested.
Alright.
I mean, I already was, but even more so now.
Mm-hmm. Then now I will go into the obsidians and the blazes, and I will try to condense it down to a point where I don't take up too much of the time, so then we can get to what you guys have. Because it be lengthy. Several pages worth.
No, be lengthy.
Be lengthy? No.
I mean, this is your
Speak
thing.
whatever
bro.
you need to.
Okay.
We're just here to be the supplementary source.
Alright, I'll start with the obsidians first. The obsidians are the most antagonistic force in the galaxy, conquering and oppressing those that they do conquer. Their government is a militant dictatorship. Their leader is called Devil, which is basically their title. Devil is ruthless and cunning, a monster in every sense of the word, feared by the obsidians and blazes alike. No two devils are the same, yet they have many similarities, like wanting more power, greed, and the hatred for the blazes. Deep and burning.
Like the fires of hell. Wait a minute.
I've just been in this space before.
The military is very chaotic, but held in line by fear of Devil. They are the most destructive military in the Zigirtha galaxy, ranging from spies, demolitionists, heavy gunners, snipers, frontline fighters. No matter their speciality, they are well trained and don't believe in taking prisoners unless the opposer is a high-ranking member. So,
war crimes galore. Got it.
pretty much on the Obsidian side.
You mean they're Canadian?
God.
Oh god.
I feel like it's a good thing they don't take prisoners, because, you know, if they took prisoners, there's gonna be even more war crimes.
More than likely. Their home territory,
Geneva
aka their
Convention's
home,
more like the Geneva Checklist.
their main
Geneva suggestions.
Geneva suggestions, pretty much. That's basically what it is to the Obsidians. Their home sector is called
terrible.
the Void Realm. Countless stars have been extinguished here, and any and all planets within have been under Obsidian rule since they emerged. No one steps into this territory unless they wish for a suicide mission or are crazy enough to try and get information.
So, at least one of the factions here?
At least, probably.
Give or take.
Their home planet is called Obos, a barren planet that was laid waste by the first devil when he was trying to get more power, ruining its surface and destroying most that were on the planet, but they still preserve after millennia. Cough, cough, Ziost from SWTOR. Cough, cough.
I see. I wish I didn't, but I see.
I hear
Yes,
somebody typing.
that is Sass.
That would be, yeah, that would be me. Because I'm typing out, while I'm listening, I'm typing out the here. It's like the race, so that way it's in an easier document.
Gotcha.
Fair.
Okay, fair
Well,
enough. Yeah, no.
What,
Like,
you don't-
I was just like,
You don't want to have it
who's got the
transcribed as
freaking
Shakespearean
keyboard?
epic?
I mean, if you want to read it, Dan, I will transpose it, not into Shakespearean, though. I'm thinking maybe go as far as Hippolytes, and, well, not Hippolytes, but go into more like Plato's writings, or...
Oh no.
You're an ass.
Do I have? Listen? Do I have to get Diogenes on the phone?
Okay.
He tell you to piss off.
Anyways.
Sorry,
Colin.
Zell.
Yeah.
It's okay, I don't mind some sidebars, but still, at the same time, I want to try to stay focused.
Understandable.
We
Pa-
shall.
Power.
Stay
There's
on target.
stay on target. Power.
Stay on target.
There's only one power for the Obsidians, and it's where they got their name. Obsidian. The color of the power is black and is only used for deception, desecration, or destruction. They can turn blazes with their power and make thralls of those who don't have blaze powers. Blazes can fall to this on their own if they want to. Brain, cooperate, please. Blazes can fall into this on their own if they want to, with too much power, or face one of their many temptations by the Whispers. I'll get into more of that once I actually get to the Blazes, which I'm going to skip over the allies and enemies, because that is ongoing.
Hey, please, I'm whispering in your ear.
Alright. Who's ready for the Blazes next? Which is where
Me!
which is where a majority of my typing
Me.
went.
Me, teacher.
Alrighty. Buckle up, this one's gonna be a long one.
Buckle up, fuckle trucks.
Alright. The Blazes are a group of individuals with great power that use it to defend the galaxy against the forces of the Obsidians. They are a militant diarchy. For leaders, there are 4 distinct leaders. There is Mystic, Diplomat, Vanguard, and Marauder. Those are their titles.
I got one question.
Hmm?
What's a diarchy?
Basically, it's a form of government where there's, like, maybe 4 people on, like, a council, but with, like, a person that mainly, deals with the major decisions.
So... Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I'm understanding it now. Continue.
Alright. So, there's Mystic, Diplomat, Vanguard, and Marauder. Which one do you guys want to hear about first?
I will leave this to group decision.
Well, I gotta represent my boys. Personally, I want to say Marauder. Sounds like a cool fella.
Marauder first? Alright.
Yeah, my Swarter senses are saying Marauder.
Alrighty. Marauder first. Marauder is 4th to Mystic and is second of the more military-centric leaders. AKA, Marauder is like second in command of the, like, second or third in command of the military. And in terms of combat ability, 3rd to Mystic and 2nd to Vanguard, and are oftentimes either in terms of their powers, either Diamond, Ruby, or Amethyst, which I will go over in a little bit. No Marauder is the same, each having their own specific personality, background, and specialties. Their domain/sponsorship is of science and includes the developments of weapons and shields for the military through any form of science falls under their purview.
Did they blind you with science?
Ooh. Oh, gun.
You are weak, Vulcan.
And with that, I suppose I'll just work my way,
Wow.
up to Mystic, then. Stop bottom, go up.
Fair enough.
Alright,
Go off, Queen.
Next is Vanguard. Vanguard is 3rd in command to Mystic, and is the second of the military-centric leaders. In terms of combat ability, Vanguard is always 2nd to Mystic, and is either a diamond, sapphire, or sunstone in terms of powers, but can be any. As usual, no Vanguard is the same. Their domain sponsorship is military and includes training on both the ground and in the air, so both Army and Navy.
In the Navy.
For legal reasons, we cannot finish that joke.
Next, we have Diplomat. Diplomat is second to Mystic and is oftentimes the one that handles negotiations and diplomacy. They are trained in combat and in their powers just to be safe. They sometimes are the former Mystic from the previous cycle, and oftentimes a diamond in terms of powers. No Diplomat is the same. Their domain sponsorship is always debate clubs and political areas, including the training of such areas.
Lucy in the sky with diamonds.
Diamond.
I appreciate that joke.
Don't really care for the Beatles.
It insists upon itself.
And then last but not least, we have Mystic. Mystic is the one with the most
legend.
the most power within the Blazes. They are both respected and feared, though they never like to rule through fear. They are most in tune with their powers and are always a diamond. No Mystic is the same. Their domain / sponsorship is always for the arts, aka theater, music, dancing, video games, etc. This title is what my ping tuber is. I am Mystic.
Oh.
Well,
Well then. That explains a lot.
Yep.
Well, and isn't that self-centered? From my tone, you can tell that was a joke.
Oh yeah, 100%. Alrighty, but moving along to the military. The military of the Blazes are a big match of personalities and specialties, thus making it very chaotic, but the chaos can be harnessed by the respect of 3 of the leaders referred to as the Big 3. The Big 3 is always Mystic, Vanguard, and Marauder. Mystic and Vanguard often take up a codename within the military known as Twins, since they pretty much match each other in terms of combat abilities. So, just... what do we got? We got the Twins. Fine.
Wednesdays!
While the Obsidian
yeah.
military is feared and the most destructive, the Blaze military is well respected and creative in their strategies. They don't like to make war just because someone has what they want. They don't like to destroy the world the fighting is happening on. They kill, yes, but that's because they have to, not because they want to. They take prisoners when possible, but if someone is too far into the Obsidian power or have been a thrall for an extended period of time, then they don't really have a choice but to kill them.
Ah, ye good old mercy kill.
Yep, pretty much. Their home territory, their home sector is called the Nebula Fields. Many stars and planets call the Nebula Fields home. Unique grasses and other harvestable materials can be found in abundance in the stars. The many nebulas are the asteroids or the planets themselves. Those planets within the Nebula Fields have been willingly playing host to the Blazes. This is through trade agreements, protection promised, or they were not inhabited when the Blazes found them. This is the area of the galaxy where the Blazes train, build, and heal rest from battle. Basically the opposite of the Obsidians, where they're like, oh hey, you guys want to be allies with us? Come on in. Enemies? Fuck off.
Just like, I am the Sand God. No, I'm kidding.
Their home planet is Bashan.
You already made that joke. You already made that joke today.
Not here, though.
Bashan, and it has ruins from having enemies like the Obsidians, but they always rebuild. They also have a safe haven called the Crystal Heart. basically at the edge of time and space, allowing travelers from other galaxies to come and interact with those here. And there's always a caretaker from one of the big leaders, or the Big Four as they are called. And currently it is under Mystic's watchful eye. Cough, cough, that's how she's able to stream.
Hey, let's go.
Alrighty, now we get into the good shit. We get into the
That was it
powers.
already?
No, the good shit is the
I'll
powers.
give.
Okay, if I wanted to wait till the end of the explanation before I commented. How much longer is the explanation?
Pretty much for Blazes, I have the powers, and that's it.
Okay, then I will wait.
Alrighty. Powers. The Blazes have multiple powers that can be expressed just pretty much certain age, and any species can have these powers, funnily enough. You can also...
Yeah, it's not that.
You can also kind of rank up your powers as your blaze. Like, if you start as a sunstone, which is like the bottom tier, you can basically evolve up to diamond if the right stimuli is expressed.
Dun dun dun.
We got you up
dun,
for a rank
dun.
match.
Yep. We got tier Sunstone is the lowest of the power hierarchy. Their color is orange, and their element of control is wind. They are wild cards and pilots of the blazes. Amethysts are the most respected powers of the blazes. They have purple for their color, element of control is earth. Scientists, techs, medics, healers, and archaeologists. Then we have Ruby. They are frontline fighters, trained in all forms of fighting, but each with their area of expertise. Their color is red, and their element of control is fire. Then we have Sapphire.
Ooh, I'm shocked.
Boy.
Shocked, I say.
I know, it's like, totally there isn't a theme for this. There's Sapphire, with their color being blue and their element is water. They are protectors / shields. They form shields with ease, focusing on protecting allies and frontline fighters, pretty much. Though they're trained in everything, they just specialize in protection. And then finally, we have Diamond. These are at the top of the hierarchy, obviously, and they're the most rare, considering that you can be born a sapphire, ruby, amethyst, or sunstone, but you cannot be born a diamond. You have to evolve into a diamond.
You have to ascend.
Yes, pretty much. Their color is silver, and the element of their control is mind and spirit. Both of them are linked together, so it's one and the same to them.
Get my head.
So, and their whole thing with the mind and spirits is just they can have glimpses of the future to come or communicate with the spirits of the deceased.
I
And
can see the future.
I can see the past.
pretty much. But yes, there are the
Everything
powers.
spoilers.
Okay. First commentary. Is this all fact? Just hard fact, because this sounds kinda like the type of propaganda you would hear from certain people. We're all like chaotic and cool, but we have people that keep us in line. What's the enemy like? Oh yeah, they're evil. They control darkness. This feels extremely reductive.
Oh,
Oh,
speaking of someone,
We
we have someone arriving. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Alright, so what's your excuse this time?
Chinese food.
Baron Valor.
That's a good excuse. Carry on.
Would you like to give a
No
small
com-
introduction since you're hopping in a little
no
late?
comments, Your Honor?
Hello, I'm Dokuman12. I'm pretty sure literally the last time we were on stream I said I'm the guy who always shows up early.
That's a recording, not stream. Different.
Sounds about
Oh,
right.
right, okay. I'm confused.
I record D&D sessions, and I put them up unlisted. And so it's not streamed. I just record those. This is actual stream.
Good to know.
Yeah. But welcome in, welcome in. I just got done giving a big
Yeah,
old stuff, and Doc is asking questions. But I know it sounds like it, but in truth, it is kind of the fact that I have in my head of there's always a good faction, there's always a bad faction. If that makes sense.
Okay. But that's really not how most real-world conflicts work, though.
Yes, but this
I
isn't a
guess
real
this
world
is a
conflict.
fantasy.
This isn't
but-
real, though.
But like you're telling me there's a major faction out there. Ruled by this guy who calls himself Devil, and not one person in there has like redeeming qualities at all.
Hanzo,
I mean,
he's a baddies.
To be fair,
Maintain-
like, one of the most well-renowned fictional worlds to have ever existed has a bad guy who lives in a castle on the top of Mount Doom.
Right.
I know
Suspension of
specifically,
disbelief and all that.
specifically to Daku's point, I could be really pedantic, but I'm not going to be. But,
Yeah, no,
but kind of an idea that might help smooth it over. These two factions, they could be considered the good and evil, but we're the ones kind of fleshing out the gray area between the two. These two factions they are built up to be the pillars of good and evil. Meanwhile, meanwhile our races are much more going to be filling in that gray area of maybe they're not allied with anybody, maybe they're allied with one side or the other, but do things that either side would take offense to or welcome in.
Okay, I just think you should be very, very cautious when reducing entire empires to very basic traits like this. It's very Planet of the Hats, which is not a good thing.
Can be.
Let's put it like this: we are still world building. There is still room to grow. This isn't the
This
final.
is true.
This isn't like the final product.
Except we have no control over the obsidians or blazes. We have been expressly told we don't touch them. We touch everything else, but they are locked in.
Okay.
Yeah, but I feel
So-
like they exist more as a sci-fi
And-
equivalent of, like, of a D&D celestial alignment chart. It doesn't really matter that one is all good and one is all evil for us. What ho, evil races!
Doc, you're thinking a bit too much into this.
Oh no.
I mean,
Okay.
Doc has a point. Doc does have a point. This is the whole reason we're here to discuss and world build. I think that right now, because we're world building, we have very much generalities, but as we develop, like again, the shades of gray will start to
Yeah,
come in.
we can flesh things out further. I highly recommend that is done with the blazes and the obsidian. You can keep one side good and one side evil. You can always have a side that is morally in the right and one that is morally in the wrong. But the idea that every single person in one faction is
Oh,
just
I wasn't suggesting that
evil.
all of them were That.
or all of them are good is
Yeah.
very, very dangerous.
But I also feel like
Okay,
some of
listen,
the
it's
best
still
parts of,
it may be
say,
basic
Star
now,
Trek.
but it won't always be. Sorry, Doc, you were saying?
Some of the best parts of Star Trek are when the assumption is flipped because the precedent has already been set. Like, I don't think you have as strong of emotional connection to, say, Worf in The Next Generation without the context of what the Klingons are in the original series.
Haven't watched Star Trek, so these are just words to me.
I know, but I feel like the issues you have would be like arguing issues, I don't know, in politics, or if like
Oh no.
saying like, well, yeah, that's just the idea, is that it feels like it's not really necessary for this stage because not all nitpicky world building is interesting enough to hold on to. Especially on a stage this big.
Yeah?
If you tried to get every last minute detail,
Not
we'd be here for
again.
years.
I'm not asking for minute details. I'm asking for more than this entire faction is
You're asking
evil.
you're asking for each faction to have a morally gray area within it, so then it's not completely black and white.
I'm asking for nuance, not even morally gray, just more nuance than this one's evil, this one's good.
Okay. I can do
Every faction and every
what-
country, every place, everything, that every group is made up of people. And people are never all one thing or all the
that.
other.
This is true.
Or, I suppose, rarely all one thing or all the other. I'm not going to sit here and argue Hitler had a whole lot of good in him or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's not that. No.
Yeah, let's stay away from bad mustache man.
Yeah, there's... But, like, it's very rare you get someone that is that level of evil or a certain level of good.
But
That is what these world building
I
sessions are
suppose
for.
it's also difficult because what we're creating here, at the moment, aren't really characters, but the society we want characters to be in, which I feel generally has more blanket statements about them as groups or societies.
Discord.
Also, Dan, you were about to say something?
But yeah, one thing I do want to say, specifically on the point of the Obsidians, malicious dictators ruling through fear and cult of personality, not unheard of.
Yes,
No,
but
it's actually
usually
very
they
common.
rely on propaganda to control people rather than actual fear, because it's very difficult to control even like a couple million people sheerly through fear. It's very
let me
difficult to
stop you right
control
there.
extremely
That is-
large groups, because even if you have spies and secret police force and people set up everywhere to know everything, it's very difficult to control extremely large groups, and this is an empire spanning world.
But yeah, as we've been saying,
I will
this
say,
is
not all.
I will add more nuance.
yeah.
Sorry. Continue. Yeah, let me just put it this way. There has been dictatorships in the past that have ruled entirely through fear without the need of propaganda.
Though, as I said, I
Well,
do believe it
almost
would
entirely.
be different to do so with such a big scale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well-
there's a lot going on. Let's put it that way.
I will add more nuance to both of
Great.
them. And while I say that you guys don't touch it because technically this is a part of my lore that I'm kind of attached to, I wouldn't mind making like constructive criticism or even just small suggestions.
Okay.
It's just majority
Personally,
of it was
I like what you got going.
me.
Yeah. For honestly, full stop. I like what you got going. Just a little bit basic right now, but that can be improved.
Yeah, it's very basic. I haven't touched this in like a couple years. Since I first started
That's what these
streaming.
streams are for.
Exactly.
I mean, this is no offense, El, but it does explain a lot. That does explain a lot.
Yeah.
It's been years since you worked on this, so it's only
Yeah.
right that we take this time to actually flesh things out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been 4 years.
Hold up.
Get him.
Let her cook.
You is cooking. Needs a little bit of seasoning, but you is cooking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the start of it.
You love biscuits, Princess in the kitchen.
Alrighty.
Anyways.
Anyway,
But yes. So those are the two major ones that I will fully add nuance and make it more words hard.
2 plus 2 equals fish.
Yeah.
Yep,
English
English
is
is
a
bastard language.
English is a bastard language.
I don't know how much of the jokes that we make as a group Zell has used on stream, but you're going to be catching a lot of them as this goes on.
Yeah, for sure.
You
There's
poor,
going to be
poor
many.
bastards.
You poor unfortunate soul.
In pain. Da-da.
In need.
Yeah.
Oh, in need. Sorry.
Oh, it's in pain, comma, in need.
Oh.
I was just continuing the... Yeah.
It's
This
been a
one
hot-
wants him to be
The
thinner,
bit.
that one wants to get the girl, and do I help them? Yes,
Yes,
indeed.
I do. Alright.
Yeah, it's to think that no, you're right. It's the yes I do. I was mixing up verses, but it is after.
Mm-hmm. Anyways,
Yeah.
though, yes, I do appreciate the feedback.
Anyways.
In the past, I'm pretty sure that I would have broken down crying, but now I'm just like, no, this is a collaborative effort. I will hear it.
No, he's out of order, but he has a point.
Exactly.
Kidding, Knock.
He has a point, so therefore,
You were perfectly in order.
yeah.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Consider.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, and then I do have a few, like, pre-cut civilizations that if people wanted to take it and run with it in a certain direction, they could.
I believe I've heard about one of them, like off stream.
Hmm. If you want, I can go through, give, government, species, and who their ally is, because then that immediately rules out who their enemy is. Of the big two, so to speak.
I mean, I think we're currently good right now. We're dealing with our particulars,
Hmm.
but in case
Later.
any of us decide we want to do extra things,
Yeah, because you guys aren't limited to one thing, but that is up to you guys.
yes.
Not up to me.
Yeah, right now my
It is
creative
a
brain juices.
collaboration.
Right now my creative brain juices are going into Akaria, but I fully know myself and expect myself to have more than one idea over for civilizations and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
I mean, you guys have seen me.
And I have to agree.
Yep.
Yeah, you have a lot going. You have a lot, and that's not an understatement. There is a lot going on.
Yep.
But anyways,
It is overrating my ability.
Alrighty. Then in that case,
Not at all.
I've shared what
No,
I wanted to share.
None of that. Shut up, Dan.
Not your stream. You can't.
No, it
You
is
can't
my.
silence.
It's my stream. Shush.
be nice to
It's
yourself.
her stream, and she can cry if she wants to. Cry if she wants to. Cry if she wants to. You would cry too if it happened to you.
Very
Oh, my
musical
goodness.
stream today.
All right. Anyway,
Then in that case,
Clearly. you'll never catch me singing.
Daku, if you want, I can explain the two that I have again towards the end of stream for you, just so then that way they're not hearing it so close together.
The Obsidian and Blazes.
Yeah.
I've read up on them, but if you have new stuff, yeah.
Oh no, I don't have any new stuff, but if you've read what I've already put in there, then yeah, you're good. Cool.
Did you watch the other stream with all the other people's worlds? Did you check out the VOD, Daku?
Sure.
Did you
This is a
watch
lie.
the video?
This is
He lies to the gallows with him.
the Fitness Gram Pacer test.
Alrighty.
I just triggered a fight or flight response in some people.
I don't appreciate that.
Yes, you did. You asshole.
Oh, I actually love that. I freaking love that. Anyone mentioning the fitness gram pacer test because I stopped associating it with the actual test and started associating it strictly with the memes that came out in like 2016 about the test.
Entirely fair.
Well, anyways, we're getting off topic.
Yes, we are. Alrighty. So, who wishes to go?
Who volunteers as tribute?
I've only got a little bit new for the Akarians as of right now, but give me a week.
Alrighty.
Fair enough.
For me, with the Seekers, I also don't have very much. I was more or less hoping to have discussions, but that depends on everybody else.
My homework.
But in seriousness, relative seriousness, the main idea that I had with the Akarians is, as opposed to their ancestral enemy, they are completely magically inert. Akarians cannot use magic.
Mm-hmm.
Entirely tech-based.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's
Consider-
a lot of that going around. Not that that's a bad thing.
Considering we'll be using like 5e for if we run this as a campaign, they'd be like Fire Genasi. That's just fire-based like tech gadgets that most have on them.
Oh, speaking of, if we run this as a campaign, are we using 2014 or 2024 rules?
That is a good question. I haven't read
like-
the 24 rules.
I think they're dumb, but I was assuming we were doing for 2014.
I'm assuming 2014 as well.
That's what I made my custom stuff under the assumption of.
Yeah, because I haven't read the 2024 rules at all, so I don't know anything.
Oh, well, it's important note, you don't all subclass features happen at level 3. So that will change the effects of the Warlock and a subclass I'm making, because then it will be a 3rd level feature and not a 1st level feature.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you don't know what you made a Warlock pact with until level 3, which I think is really dumb.
That is
kinda
really
stupid.
Or who your cleric's
That does
god
sound
is.
very dumb.
Or who...
All in favor of saying bugger that and just using the rules we're familiar with?
I
I
Familiar rules are good because then that way we don't have to scramble.
imagine a cleric.
It has some
Oh,
nice
God.
changes too. They're not all bad stuff. I just really
It's
do
not
not
all
like
dog
that.
shit.
Yeah. In fact, it has some
Yeah.
pretty good changes, like specific effects for using different weapons. I'd say if we do anything with the 2024 rules, we take the parts we like and we ignore everything else.
So kind of a
Agreed.
hybrid system.
Yeah.
I can work with that.
5.3 is what we're hearing.
Yeah.
Fair.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
It's just a spin on 3.5.
But another part of the idea that I was getting at with the Akarians is that as a part of the military, they have a lot of stuff that is standard, like, for example, the Ignis class fighters, various weapons, and armor, and that kind of thing. But they also allow for a greater degree of flexibility and customizability on the smaller aspect. For example, pilots of the Ignis class are allowed to modify their own ships to, to improve things that they've noticed doesn't fit their personal fighting style.
Mm.
In fact, my character for the campaign,
So-
Hero, he has extensively modified his Ignis.
Fair
Gotcha.
valid. So, I'm going to make a comparison here. Anybody who knows 40k is going to realize this immediately, but the salamanders.
Not incorrect, especially with given the fire motif.
Okay then.
The salamanders. That is all.
That is all.
The big, huggy,
Yeah,
fiery
pretty much.
ones.
Yeah.
I
Big
would
huggy
like to pet
firefly.
this creature.
Vulcan, do not hug that. Do not pet that merry suicide bomber.
Funny thing is-
Anyways.
Anyways.
Funny thing is, I'm working on trying to find art for their bomber class ship, and I was planning on calling it the Vulcan class heavy bomber.
Vulcan lives! Boom, boom, boom. Vulcan
Stomp, stomp.
lives!
Stomp, stomp.
Hey. Now then. I believe a certain somebody actually has lore to go over for their faction.
Who are you referring to?
Oh gee, I wonder who.
Hmm.
I'm talking
Looks
about,
at the
I'm talking about
server.
you, good sir.
Looks at the server, looks back into call, looks at the server, back into call, looks at the server, back into call. I wonder.
Before we do change stuff, does Daku have anything? If not, it's fine, but, because Daku wasn't here last week, he wouldn't have gotten a chance to go over any of his lore, so I think we should prioritize anyone who hasn't gone over anyone updating lore.
I agree.
So it's very big.
Although this is new lore, but yes, Daku first.
I don't have a lot because it's really basic, and I got stuck on the name, and I forgot that I was stuck on the name, so I just stopped typing.
It's like
The break time.
I was about to say.
The general idea is zealotous necromancers who, instead of ships, use the bodies of leviathans that fly through space. Except I then realized I was going to have to create all the lore for leviathans that go through space, so I started that. And I couldn't find good artwork, and kind of all fell in on itself.
Just call them space whales, and then any water-bound whale is not just called a whale; it's called a sea space whale. It's like an ocean space whale.
Oh no.
That is the dumbest and most brilliant thing I've ever heard.
You mean it's like a space
terrestrial.
whale, but it goes through water?
A terrestrial space whale.
No, that's an elephant.
Oh man.
We also have a land space whale. Those are people who buy out product for trading card games.
That's a good one. That is a good joke, sir.
Sir, I am called out. I am in this picture and I don't like it.
Yep.
But that's.
I did have
that
one
is
other thing
interesting.
that I meant to add, but I forgot to say it when I had my turn, so I will wait.
I think Daku's done.
Yeah, I'm done. The only other, concept is that I didn't want them... I don't know, I think nuanced might not be the right word, but they worship death like it's a gift, but one that you have to work for, and so they aren't going to let you die for free.
That sounds horrifying.
You gotta earn your death, bitch.
Nobody dies for free. Oh no.
That is very 40k.
I'm scared. Mr.
that is
Stark,
very
I don't feel so good.
That is very 40k.
But at the same time, it's very interesting.
I don't remember. Oh god.
I'm getting flashbacks of the Jopal indentured legions.
And yeah, that was pretty much it.
Well, that's sufficiently
Alrighty.
terrifying. I did.
When you have more,
but again,
just
this
let me
season.
know, and I'll
But
make
anyway.
you a channel in the Discord so you can share it with the class.
Will do.
There's no rush on it though, so don't feel the need to
Hopefully, hopefully.
The need for
bum
speed.
rush it. Yeah, like even if you have enough to be like, okay, I have enough for a channel, and just that's fine. It doesn't have to be a lot, because gestures to a few channels that are still empty. Don't worry about it.
Gotcha.
But, this is just a stupid thing that, Daku and Koi might get, and maybe Chrome, depending on how much he's been paying attention to me.
I don't know
Rambling.
who this koi person is.
Doc.
They sound
Force of-
pretty cool.
Doc, sorry. But
Go
one of the points of pride of the Ikarian Republic is their prime diplomatic colony, and the first colony that they crafted when they received, farther space travel after reverse engineering the Azarian ships, Velgear.
Bill.
That's a very particular reference.
You can't see it, but I'm squinting my eyes.
Fry style?
Yes.
Good. As it should be.
At ease. That is a very particular reference. I hope somebody gets it. I doubt anybody will.
Alrighty, before we move on to the next
Sounds
person,
familiar.
I'm gonna run ads real quick on stream.
Okay.
So we have 3 minutes.
Ad break.
Alright. While we're running
Is there
ads,
any
I'm gonna
questions yet?
be right back.
Or has it just been lurking again? Has there been anybody talking in the chat, or has it just been lurkers again?
It's just been lurkers.
Just lurkers. I'll be back as
Speak,
well.
damn you!
It's fine, you can't force people to be into the interactive world building.
True. It is up to them if they wish to join in on the world building or not, but it is not my place to decide. It is theirs.
Need lurkers are just as important as people who chat.
Exactly. You still got viewers. They are still watching.
Yes.
But yeah, the thing I really wanted to go over this session was mostly just like discussing how the Seekers get along with some of the other factions within the galaxy, but that would probably take up too much time.
We can save that for last. How about that?
That'll work.
Okay, did anyone else have anything, or should I go, or are we taking a break?
We are taking a quick break for ads on my
Okay.
channel.
Taking a small.
Ah,
Yeah,
ad.
this is-
Yes, ad
small ad
revenue.
break.
is
I'm back.
important.
Yep, ad revenue is a thing.
Welcome back. You're getting money for this regardless,
Yep,
though I don't know how much.
me neither.
Gotta get that. Gotta get that money.
Money, 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 money.
Ding, ding, bling, bling, dala, 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 dala.
Here comes the money. Money talks.
Money.
Here comes the money. Money talks. Money, 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 money. Money, money, money. That's a wrestling reference.
Shane?
Yep.
I remember.
Oh, so the
But-
stream where I have to eat is
I
the one we all
missed
decide to start singing. I see how it is.
Exactly.
But to unrattle your brain, Chrome, Velgir is the surname of all of Udius and all of his species in Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush.
That's where I was remembering it from. Son of a bitch!
Son of a biscuit.
Technically, it's also the surname of Zuijo and Quaidual as well as Udius. So
Wild
you know,
names, but then again, they are aliens, so.
you know, 3 of the best characters in the show. Well, Udius and the 2 best
Yep.
characters in the show. Because
Yes.
I never imagined that Yu-Gi-Oh! Of all shows would give us an in-depth and well-thought-out character arc about a character coming to terms with his own morality and mortality, but
Here we are.
yeah, that's a thing in Go Rush for those who have not seen that. It's a freaking wild show. Great show, actually.
I see.
Acid trip.
Hell,
Welcome back. Ads are done.
Okay.
So break is officially
Yay.
over.
Okay.
Break a neck. I meant a leg.
Time to start talking again.
So, who's next? I believe Chain was going to go.
Only if no one else has something, because, I mean, I mentioned these fuckers last time, but I didn't have anything for them beforehand. Wait, I didn't even mention them last time. Never mind. But yes, I do
I got
have.
nothing to say.
I have tribute.
Most of my stuff's very, simple, so.
Well, I mean, if you want to go first, Doc.
Nope, I'm fine going after.
Okay. So, last time I went over the Null Dread, which are basically Robo Space Cthulhu. Yes, the Reapers. Okay. This time I will go with I will explain about the Anik, another race I came up with.
Do it.
Are we ready for story time, children?
Do it.
Okay,
Yes, Grandpa.
not inaccurate. Okay. Their homeworld is Anakar 3, the third planet of the Anakar system. Their government is a militant meritocracy-based parliament. The race is most known for trade, exploration, space supremacy, naval warfare, shipbuilding, and negotiation. They have a small, modest empire of about 13 planets within the 3 closest systems to their homeworld. But they have negotiated establishment of multiple naval bases and ports on other worlds. They do have a dominant religion, which is known as the Church of the Stars and Waves. And here's a brief history of them. 1 second. I think I need a sip of water before I start this.
Understandable.
Okay.
Totally valid,
let's
sir.
go. The Anik evolved from feline predators that dwelt in the lush jungles of the many large islands dotting the seas of Anakar 3. They would seek height amongst the jungle canopies in order to ambush prey from above. The Anik developed humanoid forms in order to better navigate the treetops. They have excellent night vision, hearing, and sense of smell. They possess retractable claws in their fingers and toes, which were used to climb or catch prey. As tribal cultures developed as the Anik evolved, many moved from the jungles to the coasts of their islands. Although feline, due to the prevalence of water upon their homeworld, the Anik evolved to become strong swimmers, with a thin hydrodynamic fur coat. The coastal-dwelling Anik soon became seafaring, developing sophisticated canoes and boats for fishing and exploration of nearby islands. It was during this time that the first tribal clashes began, as tribes from neighboring islands would often clash over fishing areas and other resources. As the tribal clashes continued, the developing societies became increasingly militant, developing crude military structures and a warrior culture. The majority of combat took place upon the open seas, as fighting upon the islands for anything less than total conquest could lead to the devastation of the islands and their resources. This pattern of intermittent warfare continued into the development of gunpowder weapons and large sailing ships, until the rise of the tribal king Rutran. Any questions so far?
Can I make a cat boy pirate?
Absolutely. Well,
Great.
you can, but you'll be a pariah because, as I'll get into later, piracy outside of times of war is considered a no-no in their society.
Shh. Cat boy pirate.
Fair enough.
Well, that's gonna
Told
be
him all
fun.
he needs to hear.
Okay, so, continuing, Rutran, the greatest warrior of his island, decided that wars amongst island nations were a waste, and that all Anak must be united as one. Over the course of 5 decades, he would lead his forces in conquest of island after island. After a time, his conquered area grew so vast that many islands joined him willingly, or through negotiation rather than conquest. By the time of his death of old age, King Rutran had united the entire world of Anakar III under his banner. His last act was to renounce his kingship and install a system of government with representatives of each island and tribe. Thus, Rutran's official title in the history of the Anak is The Only, with the longer title being the first, last, and only king of the Anak, blessed of the waves and stars. With their world united, the Anak moved their focus away from war to trade between island nations and exploration of what little of their world was not already known. As they developed metal hull ships, this began an interest in undersea exploration. The first submersibles were elegant things, able to dive over 20,000 Anakan leagues under their seas. I'll wait for it.
Hey, I know that reference.
Okay. It was there that they discovered that beneath the waves, their world was richer in resources than they knew, with great seams of minerals and geothermal vents on the bottom on the ocean floor. As their technology developed, better and better submarines and underwater habitats were built to make use of these resources. During this golden age, the Parliament of Equals decided upon the Anakin Code of Conduct and Composure, a set of guidelines for civilized peoples to hold themselves to. It is still relevant and influences the Anakin art, culture, clothing, and mannerisms as they pay homage to this era. So, in short, they're all historical cosplayers.
Can I make a comment while you're paused?
Yes.
I feel like they would get along splendidly with the Akarians.
Probably. They do love their negotiations and shit.
I would have to agree because the Seekers are all about that.
To continue, soon all the seas were conquered and explored, and so since they had mastered the waves in their fullness, the Anak turned their eyes to the stars, looking for new spaces to explore. Their shipbuilding and underwater habitat experience served them well in creating starships. And a mere 500 years after unification, they landed upon their moon. And that is where the brief history ended, because that is where Discord cut me off. Like, you're writing a lot, man.
Yeah.
Me too.
However-
I was there.
Yeah, curse you, character limit.
Yeah.
I was there with Akarians. The Akarians.
However, I still have two other things on the Anak But before I do that, does anyone have any questions or comments at this point?
You heard mine.
And
Ruth
as
and
well.
Ruth and the pretty all right.
Speaking of, Dan, read Ruthon's name, and you'll, read Ruthon's name for me, and, puzzle over it for a bit.
I'll get there soon. I am functioning on like 4 hours of sleep in the past 48 hours, so.
Fair enough. So, anyone else have anything before I, get into the Church of the Stars and Waves?
I have nothing.
Or, do you want me to silence myself and let someone else?
I will leave that up to everyone else. Do you guys want him to continue, or do you want him to pause and let someone else talk for a little bit?
I'd like him to continue.
Okay, that's
I'm saving my stuff for the end, so.
Okay, that's the only opinion I've heard, so, I'll continue for now, but if you want me to shut my gob, let me know. The Church of the Stars and Waves...
Not...
Yes? Did someone
Oh
say...
yeah, no, not at the moment, so continue. Sorry.
Okay. The dominant Anakin, religion is a combination of ancestor worship and nature worship. They honor their ancestors deeply and believe that the greatest of them journey into the heavens upon their deaths, with their souls fusing with great stars. The greatest of all stars is, of course, Anacar, the life giver and father, with the second being that of the next star system over from their homeworld, which they named Ruthron after their great king, believing his spirit watches them from afar. Whenever they enter a star system, the Anak eject a pod filled with incense and small offerings into the system's sun, paying honor to the great spirit within. If the sun is father of the Anak species, then the waves are their mother, providing safety, food, and boundless resources. Storms are rare on Anacar 3, leading to this attitude towards their seas being a gentle mother. However, when storms do occur, they are always fierce, and the people pray for forgiveness for whatever they may have done to displease the sea. Harmony and grace with nature, especially the sea, is paramount, and so their ships are works of art so that the Sea Mother finds them pleasing. The Church of the Stars and Waves is largely informal, with the leader of a congregation usually being an elder or veteran sailor, one who has experienced the bounty and wrath of both the stars and the waves. It is a deeply personal religion, with each person encouraged to explore their own connections to the spirits and nature. In this manner, it has survived even into the age of intergalactic travel, as the sciences are simply seen as another avenue of exploration and understanding the stars and waves. The only truly concrete part of the religion is knowledge of one's ancestral history, with formal introductions requiring regaling a new acquaintance with the names and greatest achievements of at least the last 4 generations of one's direct line. It is considered the greatest honor.
Oh no.
What? What?
Sorry, no. I'm just making comments. I'll wait until you're done.
Okay. It is considered the greatest honor to be included into the Great Line of those ancestors whose deeds are so great All Anik may include them when paying homage to the ancestors. And that's what I have for the religion I made up for them. Comments?
Okay,
Thoughts?
so the comment I was going to make. The comment I was going to make. You know, it's going to get very difficult sometimes trying to memorize at least 4 different people in your ancestry.
Oh, absolutely. But that's why it's only for formal occasions.
Specifically 4 notables. Fair.
Like, if you were, like, meeting someone on a date, you wouldn't regale them with your ancestry. But if you were meeting the ambassador from the next neighboring species, you would give them at least the short history in order to basically be like, this is who I am, this is where I came from, I honor you by giving you this information. Make sense?
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah, I get you.
The more I hear, the more they and the Akarians get along.
Okay, so I have one last bit. Do we still want me to continue for the last bit?
By all means.
Go for it.
Okay. The last bit concerns their spacefaring, which are divided into 3 groups. The Grand Navy of Anakar, the Exemplary Guild of Traders, and the Supreme Convention of Explorers. The most common ways for an Anik to improve their station and gain renown and wealth was once by serving in the maritime fleets as a naval sailor, a trader, or an explorer. This tradition has continued into the age of space travel, with the Anik being considered some of the finest sailors and shipbuilders in the void. The Grand Navy is the Anik's primary military, with any ground action undertaken by their Marine Corps, which is a subdivision of the Navy. This has its roots in the tradition from their tribal wars, where they would keep their fighting mostly to the seas in order to avoid damaging the lands. The Grand Navy is composed of impressive warships built under the code of conduct and composure. Thus, although they are extremely advanced, their aesthetics are similar to those of Age of Sail ships. The Navy is responsible for the protection of the planets and ports under Anik control, and is charged with protecting their trading interests. Other worlds and species may negotiate with the Parliament of Equals in order to be included in this protection. Pirate hunting is a particular enjoyment of the Navy, as piracy outside of open warfare is considered a grave crime in Anik society. So basically, think Imperial Navy from 40k, the British Navy, the ship from Treasure Planet, and you won't go far wrong.
Yes, Treasure Planet.
Yes, I
mean,
things chasing
the
a dream.
first art that he posted in the Anik thing was basically like a 40k version of the captain from Treasure Planet.
I thought it looked familiar.
Don't think I didn't.
He was.
Don't think I didn't notice. She is a great character, but don't think I didn't notice.
Yeah, I know you noticed, and I look forward to you noticing the thing about the Great King and his name.
Yep. I will almost certainly figure it out, and if not, I'll ask you and kick myself after.
Look at it backwards. But while we're waiting on that, the second of the three
Okay. Remove the N. It's Arthur. I see it.
Exactly. It's basically the Arthurian legend.
Yep. I'm an idiot.
No, you're not. You're tired.
I'm a
That's
tired
right.
idiot.
No, you're not an idiot.
We don't have the time to argue with you. Just know that you're wrong. Okay, so
If you don't have the time to argue with me, that means I win by proxy. Ah.
Anyways,
No.
and if you win, then you are not an idiot because you won the argument.
It's a catch-22.
Yes, Schrodinger's idiot.
Okay, so strolling right along because I've taken up a lot of time as is. The Exemplary Guild of Traders is responsible for establishing trading partners, maintaining trade routes, and finding new markets for Anakan goods and services. Trader captains are one step removed from royalty, empowered by the Parliament to seek out opportunities to enrich the Anakan people. There is little that a trader can't do so long as it does not directly harm the Anak people or their reputations. As such, most traders are scrupulous in adhering to contracts and reaching good deals with their trade partners. Knowingly,
So the rogue traders.
yes, they are rogue traders. If the Navy is the 40k Imperial Navy, then these are the rogue traders.
I like it.
Knowingly providing faulty products, for example, can see a trader expelled from the guild and have their license of trade revoked. While trader ships mostly rely on the Navy for protection, it is against Anak custom for a ship to be completely unarmed, and so they can handle themselves. And finally, and everyone breathes a sigh of relief, finally, the Supreme Convention of Explorers are where those most thirsting for adventure go, as they expand the maps of the known galaxy, chart new routes, seek out new worlds and civilizations, and find new knowledge. As they may be in space for many years, they are designed to be self-sufficient and are as well armed as naval vessels, since they go beyond the bounds of the Navy's protection. While not as structured as the Navy or potentially enriching as the traders, explorers have the greatest chance to achieve fame. So basically, they're the explorator feelies.
Okay, so I have to say this now. How long have the Anak been spacefaring and functioning under these rules?
That I do not actually have, but assume that it's been at least a few hundred years, at least.
Okay, because I was going to say, the more you talk, the more I think, like, it's probably appropriate if the Anak are the species that first discovered the far marches and the Republic.
How long ago was that?
Not long, only within the past century.
Yeah, they definitely could have done that.
I'm not the only... You see that too, right, Zell?
yes.
Basically, my thinking is they've been a interstellar spacefaring civilization for at least 300 years, no more than 1,000.
Alright.
But there is a reason they are considered the end-all, be-all, more or less, of space dominant.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Best travel.
I have talked a long-ass time. Does anyone have anything else to say about this before I turn it over to someone else?
I've said my piece.
I'll save my stuff for later.
Okay. I will turn it over to the next one, and thank you all for indulging me and letting me flap my gums for so long.
You're welcome, Grandpa.
Ah, thank you, Jimmy!
Alright.
Now take your meds.
Ah! I like the cherry tasting ones.
Sir, that's grape.
What? Speak up! My hearing aid's going out.
We have 25 minutes and we need to get through 2 more people.
Sorry about that. I will shut up now.
It's fine. We don't have a lot of time.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I believe it's
If I
just
must,
me
I can
and
wait a
Chrome,
week.
right? It's just me and Chrome left for updated lore?
Yes, and I believe you're
For the
next,
moment.
Doc.
Okay. So the problem with that is I am currently in the process of reviewing the main thing I wrote. Okay. With a friend. Okay. A friend just got back with the final word and said it looks good finally. So I'm actually good.
Yay!
So,
Timing.
so I have two new things. Those of you who were here last week, will have remembered my world squirrel is, how did I describe it? I had a better description I wanted to give than the one I gave last week. So let me find that, because I described it way better to someone else.
I believe the general gist was it's very magically inclined, but it's also heavily irradiated.
Yep, that's the general gist. So, brief summary, Quirrell was a typical high fantasy planet, where the magic of the world, both the ambient and natural magic found within the world, took on a living form. But then, in a day known as the Day of the Crimson Skin, the magnetic shield most planets have, because most planets have an electromagnetic field around them that keeps us safe from cosmic radiation, this one got fucked up. And the entire world started getting heavily bombarded with just an absolute shit ton of cosmic radiation. Any life that survived on the planet is now horribly mutated, and because the ambient and natural magic given life and given form could not die, it itself has become incredibly mutated. The planet, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but it's currently mostly used as kind of a testing facility to check out different types of mutation and evolution, by some people who managed to escape and are living in colonies above the planet. I did write a bit more of that. But this would be unknown to most of the world. So this is kind of hidden lore. Should I discuss it immediately?
I guess I suppose, because people here won't really metagame, but at the same time, it's completely up to you whether you want to share it out there in the open or if you want to share it privately, because either way works.
So I will share it out there in the open then. the reason the magnetic shield failed was because some heroes got tricked into thinking they were doing a good deed by fucking with it.
Oh.
And that by fucking with the magnetic field, it was the thing preventing space travel and preventing them from connecting with the rest of the known galaxy. So they did successfully get off planet, and their descendants are the ones that are currently living in the colonies above the planets, doing weird experiments on the people and beings that survive down below.
So you can't see it, but I'm giving Zell and Chrome a side eye right now.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. And I'm thinking it too, but I'm not going to say anything just yet.
I certainly don't.
Yeah. That wasn't a dig at you, for the record. It's just this is sounding familiar.
I legit do not know what you're talking about, but okay.
Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, there's a thing in Final Fantasy. Is it from the new expansion?
Shadowbringers.
No, it's from one of the older ones.
Oh, I didn't. I thought it was. Oh, I guess. Yeah, technically, I guess that could be argued to be a similar story. I didn't consider that. I did not consider that at all. I'm gonna be honest. It was nowhere in my mind.
This is just my terrible brain.
It's just
I
running the
thought
connections.
you were going to go the direction of thinking they were like the Necron tier from 40k. And I was going to be like, boy knows nothing about 40k.
No, it's also a bit Necron tier, but that was natural. And what happened in 14 was a bunch of heroes tricked into basically unbalancing the world.
Yeah, no, this has nothing to do with worldly balance. This was this was, we want to expand our empire into space. How can that go the most wrong possible?
It's more the heroes were tricked, is what...
I got you.
Are we sure these are heroes? I mean, I know they're described as heroes, but Hans, are we the baddies?
Quite possibly, yes.
Now everything on the planet has turbo cancer.
Yep. But for those of you who are familiar with radiologic effects, a day of crimson skin, that's inaccurate. It would have had to been the day before, because erythema, reddening of the skin from radiation, does not happen for 24 hours normally. It takes a while to apply. So technically, the day everyone thinks the magnetic shield went down is actually the day after. I know most of you are not familiar with radiation effects, which is why I have to specify.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure you're only familiar because you're in school to be a doctor.
I'm in school to be an X-ray tech, not a doctor.
X-ray tech, you know what I meant.
But yes, that is some of the new lore, and now I will go over the custom warlock path I have been working on. I have I don't have what spells get added to the list yet, and I need more work to clarify the 10th level feature, but I have all the other ones set up. I also need names for all of them. So, as a pact with a being of pure magic, this lets you put more magic in your magic, so you can magic while you magic.
Yeah.
So, the first level feature is, when you cast a spell using a spell slot from your pact magic feature, you can choose to increase the level of that spell is cast at by 1 level. This effect goes up to 2 levels when you reach 6th level in this class. This effect goes up to 3 levels when you reach 10th level in this class, and this effect goes up to 4 levels when you reach 14th level in this class. You may do so. You may do this a number of times equal to your charisma modifier per long rest. And then I give 2 6th level features, which isn't super common, but it has happened in Warlocks before. Like, I think Fathomless gets 2 6th level features. Fathomless or Genie. One of the newer ones does. I'm not looking this up right now. So the first 6th level feature is you learn the Catnap spell. And when you cast it, you may choose to roll a D100 and reduce the duration of the spell by that many rounds. You may notice the regular duration of the Catnap spell is 10 minutes or 100 rounds. So if you get a perfect 100, you can get the effects of the Catnap spell instantly. Which basically means a short rest.
Oh.
It's a magically induced short rest, which on a Warlock is pretty nice.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna take a nap.
Yep. Second 6th level feature. When you take damage from a spell or magical effect, you can use your reaction to absorb and corrupt some of that magic. If you do, you gain resistance to the triggering damage until the start of your next turn. Also, you regain spell slots equal to 1/4 of the damage taken after the resistance is applied. Once you use this feature, you can't use it until you finish a short or long rest.
To quickly pause real quick. Hello! Naldrin. Sorry.
Hello, new viewer. Maybe
Hello.
are they a friend? Are they a previous viewer? Are they a new viewer?
They're a first-time chatter. Hello, welcome
Hello,
in.
first-time chatter.
We are
Hello,
discussing
new-
world building currently.
We
We're approaching our limit, but we're
Friends.
still
Somebody
doing
has
it.
broken the silence.
Hello, how are you? Hope you're having a good time zone wherever you're at.
Okay. So while we wait for them to respond, I will continue. The 10th level feature is actually a downcast ability. So you can cast spells from using Pact Magic at their original level, and depending on how much you downcast them by, you have a chance to, not guaranteed, but a chance to not expend a spell slot. And then the 14th levels feature is when you cast a spell using a spell slot that does damage, you may roll an additional damage dice for each level you cast that spell at above its original level. This stacks with any already additional damage dice you get.
I see.
Sounds a little strong.
It's a 14th level feature. By this point, you can cast Force Cage or any 7th level spell as a full caster. It's fine if it's a little strong.
Mm-hmm.
Fair point. You have good point.
So, and the other thing I made is, surprise, bitches, I'm not just making a custom Warlock pact, I made a custom Sorcerer subclass, because, well, everything's mutated. Magic itself is mutated. It would make sense there's a mutated Sorcerer as well.
Yeah, true. They say that they should go to sleep, but they can't, so they're working on their own world building, and it helps to have someone else also doing it to stay focused and motivated. Understandable.
Very understandable.
Been there.
Honestly,
Relate.
can relate.
So the only feature I have for the new sorcerer subclass is whenever you get to choose whenever you get a meta magic option, you gain double the number of meta magic options, but anything beyond the original one has to be used on one of the following, which are new meta magic options.
Sorry, Doc, but before you continue, I have a question for you.
Yes.
If a pre-adult character born on your world awoke to these powers, would that make them a teenage mutant and ninja sorcerer?
It would be better if they were a turtle, but yes.
They're asking what we're working on right now.
So we are working on, this is a big world building session. Zell, our lovely streamer, main streamer here, has made a galaxy and invited each of us to make our own factions or worlds or anything within that galaxy. We are planning on running a D&D Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition game set in the galaxy, and I am currently listing off homebrew subclasses for that will appear potentially in that game based on my world in that galaxy. Did I say anything incorrect?
You did. You said everything correct. It's a lot.
Yes. So, the new versions of meta magic that I am giving to the sorcerer subclass is basically corrupted versions of the other spells, the other ones. So the corrupted version of Seeking Spell, Seeking Spell is you can spend 2 points. Then if your attack misses, you can try to reroll. You can have advantage, basically. The corrupted version is you store some of the magic used for the casting of the spell as defensive magic, and you actually force a single reroll on one single attack that would hit you after casting. So instead of re-rolling an attack that missed, it forces your enemies to re-roll an attack that hit. The corrupted version of Transmuted Spell, the originals, when you cast a spell that deals a type of damage from a list, you can spend sorcery points to change the damage type to one of the others listed types. The original has 6 damage types. This one just has 6 of the other 7 damage types. So this one can do Force, Radiant, Necrotic, Bludgeoning, Piercing, Slashing.
Naldrin says that they have the same thing with some of their friends, but they have developed their own system that works better than D&D or other existing rule sets for them. Which, hey, completely fair and valid.
Absolutely.
More power to you.
Now, the inverted version of Careful Spell is the one I think will need the most playtesting. And I had to put the most limits on. Because the Careful Spell is 1 sorcery point to get charisma number characters to auto-succeed on a thing. So the corrupted version I made is 3 sorcery points to get charisma number characters to auto-fail on the first save from an effect that does damage, and then the creature becomes immune to the auto-fail effect of this meta magic for 24 hours.
So basically, it's a guaranteed failure.
Yes, and guaranteed failures are very strong. They're stronger on control than they are on damage, which is why I restricted it strictly to damage.
Which is appreciated, because I think if it was for support, it would cause a much more of a headache.
Yeah. So...
broken?
Yeah, so the corrupted version of Distance Spell is 1 sorcery point to double the range of a spell. The corrupted version, I also may need to work on this. It's 2 sorcery points to double the range of a shape listed within a spell that has a range of self. So something like Burning Hands, it doesn't have a range of 15-foot cone. It has a range of self that emanates a 15-foot cone. So this would basically bring that cone up to 30 feet.
So, like, Thunderwave, I'm guessing?
Yeah. It would double the cube of Thunderwave. The thing is, some effects with this become really, really strong. For instance, if you have a 30-foot radius Spirit Guardians, it might be a bit of a headache.
Honestly, I would class that one more as support than anything, because it's area denial.
But it's area denial and free damage within 30 feet of you.
Thank you so much for the follow, Peanut Base. Welcome in.
A 60-foot radius fear effect would also probably be pretty strong. There's a few spells I need to look at a bit more and worry about for this effect. So I may change this one in future, but for now that's what it looks like. So empowered spell.
And thank you for the follow, Naldrin. Welcome in to the Crystal Heart. Sorry. But also the fact of the matter of it's almost 10 o'clock. We got like 3 minutes.
I will rush through the rest. So the regular version of empowered spell is a sorcery point to reroll up to the charisma number dice on a damage roll. The corrupted version is a sorcery point to take average on a number of damage dice up to the charisma mod. It's extended spell, 1 point to double duration. The corrupted version's 1 point to halve duration. It's very rare you actively want to have the duration. The only example I could find is like Catnap. Heightened spell, 3 points to give one creature disadvantage on a roll. The corrupted version is 1 point to give one creature advantage on a roll. So it will be more on allies, and you would use it if you couldn't get regular careful spell, or if you wanted to choose something else instead of regular careful spell. Regular quicken spell, 2 points change an action cast spell to a bonus action. Corrupted version, 2 points to change a bonus action cast spell, like a spell that's naturally a bonus action, to reaction when another creature ends its turn. Subtle, cast without verbal or somatic. Corrupted version, cast without material. equal to you can spend any number of sorcery points on it, and it's one for each 1 point you spend, you remove 100 gold worth of material. And then twinned is normally you pick spells that meet certain conditions to target a second creature with them. This one's double down, so you target the same creature again.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
With the same prerequisites.
That makes sense.
This is giving me Risk of Rain vibes.
Yeah. And that's all I have. That's all the homebrew subclass, the updated world lore. So yeah.
Alrighty, and then we're going to briefly touch on Chrome's stuff.
Okay. So I was going to hopefully get into more detail, but since it's 10 o'clock, I don't believe I can really do it justice based on the little time that I do have.
Do you want to wait till next time?
Yeah, it'd probably be safer to do that, considering I didn't realize it would go this long before it got to me. But
I also didn't realize my
so
explanation
probably
would take
best to
so
wait till
long.
next week.
I apologize.
No, if anyone needs to apologize, it's me.
Though, to be fair, I will at least give a brief overview, real quick, for the new viewers. So, the thing that I'm working on is known as the Astral Seekers. They are a race of entirely synthetic robots, basically. They are just straight up just robots. In every shape, class, and form that you can think of. I heard that. But basically, the general gist of their whole thing is something had to create them, but what? And they are in the process of trying to look for that. They have been spending millennia doing so. In short, it is basically a sentient race of robots looking for God. Or at least their creator, if you want to be technical.
Yeah, that's a good brief explanation.
Yeah, it's very simple and to the point. I was hoping to actually get more into like the various the finer details, but it's a little late today. So
yeah, it took
probably
a while.
First thing next week, whenever we pick this back up. Hopefully, should everything go correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was more minor stuff, so I figured give way to everybody else that had new things to talk about. And plus also probably discussing, because that was where my mindset was at, just like trying to discuss like how they interact with some of the other factions that currently exist.
That can definitely be saved for next time.
Again, yeah, more of a discussion sort of thing.
Yeah.
We also didn't really have time for anyone to really comment on my updated lore, so I guess we'll go over that next time as well.
Yeah, it's so unfortunately, I would have to apologize, but we are not going to be getting to me this week. So to the new viewers, you'll have to just wait until next week, or at least try and tune in when it comes around.
Next week, more than likely, unless a majority of the people can't make it or something. I operate by the rules.
I will.
Right, yeah.
I hopefully will be good, but I will let you know.
Yes, just everyone
Tuesday.
just let me know. Yeah, everyone just let me
Likewise.
know when you know.
Okay.
I release you. If you wish to leave, you may leave.
Alright, have a good night.
I'm free!
Night.
Good night.
Free! Tying! Dang it!
Boy.
Hey, are we still live?
We're still live. I still have some wrapped up things to do. If you guys want to still stay on call, I can switch to private talks and wrap it up and come back.
Could you just real quick?
Alright. I'll go wrap it up then and then I'll come back.
Okay. Let me know when we're muted.
I have to actually go over to private talks in order to wrap things up because I directly address chat and I have to raid out and pay attention to different tabs. So
Things.
So again, I will be back.
Take your time.
Okay.
Alrighty. We are now going to raid someone. Because we are done for the day. Because my people get very tired very quickly. So we're stopping at 10 for the most part because that is what we're used to. But yes, I hope... Thank you for coming on in, everyone. I very much appreciate it. It's always appreciated. Lurks are appreciated, chats are also appreciated, even if I didn't get to, some things, because... Yeah, you know this, most of the time you're working on things after they left. But yes, so I will be ending, stream because I've also been talking a lot, and my voice is in need of, rest. Like, now you're working on writing down the, character creation? It's okay? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do have a Discord. It is the Crystal Heart. Feel free to join. There are some people in there that do a whole bunch of D&D stuff. It's kind of quiet, but, it's still there. I also have a Twitter and a YouTube that I mainly just use to keep people updated when I go live and upload my VODs. So there's other D&D talks over on my YouTube. So, yes. We are going to raid Veiled Grey, who is doing affiliate versary. Yes, thank you all for coming to listening to us flap our gums. Very much appreciated. Raid message, raid. Oh! Thank you so much for the sub! King of Beasts, I very much appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Thank you. I appreciate the support, heart emojis. But yes, we're gonna be rating Veiled Grey, who's doing their, affiliate anniversary. They are playing some Elden Ring right now, and it'd be appreciated if you go and, give them a bit of love. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. I very much appreciate it. I hope to see you guys around. So basically, I put schedules out on Twitter and in my Discord. I stream Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday is Worldbuilding stream, specifically Saturday is Stellaris for the most part. Thursday is whatever game that really is piquing my interest. But that is normally what it is for just normal, but yes. I'm rambling. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys later.